Hey, so this video, it's actually one of my favorite ones. But as I was reviewing it, I noticed, oh my God, there's so much background noise. So I tried remaking it. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work with me. The feeling that did, the emotion that I kind of bring about and somehow managed to uh, send to you. That's why I say listen with your heart, because there are a lot of emotions in those words, in those recordings. So, um, and yeah, so I when I reviewed the video, it was just so distracting because of the background noise. But if you listen to it with a lower volume, like you can barely hear my voice, the background noise is automatically kind of disappeared. So I apologize for that. I tried to mend that. I could not. So with that, please watch and enjoy. Hope you're doing great. So I want you to listen to this recording free of all the things you've heard, all the things you know, and all the things that is going on right now. And if there's any relevancy of what I'm saying is what's happening, look at it as if you're looking at it 100 years later. Just take it as history repeating itself, because the thing about leaders that I'm going to tell you is something as old as history itself. So, and I have a suggestion, if you like, to immerse in this experience and truly meditate on these words. One way to do it is like this. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in. The breath is usually, the miracle of breath is usually what the object of your meditation. But now I want you to open your heart and meditate on these words. We've seen a lot of leaders in this world. Religious leaders, country leaders, leaders with political power, senators, presidents. And in this day and age, any of us could become a leader. We can find something that we're good at, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to be good at it. And then people start to follow us. We'll become an influencer. I believe that what all these leaders have in common is one thing: self-love. Because I believe beauty, your greatness, your art, your craft, your unique masterpiece is a reflection of self-love. When you love yourself, when you respect yourself, when you're always kind to yourself, at some point you come to a realization that you are a masterpiece of the universe, billions of people before you and billions of people come after you. No one are you. And no one can do all the things that you can do. And that's when you find your calling. When you find your uniqueness. But there's this funny thing, this paradoxical thing, that if you don't get lost in it, you'll know that everybody else is also a masterpiece of the universe, whether or not they realize it or not. You will start loving everyone and everything, even though the people who do the things that are against your integrity, are against your principles, things that you used to hate people for. They do those things, but you still become able to love them. That's when you go through the journey of self-love in its truest sense, and it's very mature, in a very complete way. And of course, even then, you can still love yourself more. You can still learn about yourself and others more and more. There's no 0 and 1. It's not even 0 to 100. It's a spectrum that has no limit. The more you are, the more you find yourself, the more people are going to love you. They're going to see the reflection. They're going to see the reflection of your self-love. You know why? Because every deity, every god that we found or made up in this world exists in us. It's in there. And when you know yourself, you gain the capacity to reveal those deities that everybody worship, that everybody likes, that heals everybody, that makes everybody happy, that makes everyone's day, that relaxes people, that gives them peace. That's why they worship those deities. And that's why they practically worship you, even if they don't realize it. They dress like you. They make up their hairs like you. They repeat what you said. Maybe you realize it or not, but you are just a messenger of that deity. I'm repeating myself. Whether the deity is made up, whether the deity exists, we don't care. We just know that a great many people in history started loving something. And that's respectable. Started being better people by that spirituality. This contest that we're talking about, we're not going into the detail if those deities exist as they were described or not. But people right now are able to do energetic healing. Things that thousands of years ago we thought were miracles. Now that people are understanding the physics of it more and more, we're not there yet, We're not there yet. It's not still in our mainstream, so it's not accepted and practiced by many of our doctors, because no one today has been able to. Well, they have, there are books about it, but not in a way that are accepted all around the board of the scientific community, of the community of doctors, who are, unfortunately, in our society, not necessarily healers anymore. They are more of business people. And speaking of business people, let's go back to the leaders. When you get lost in your greatness, and you forget about the greatness of others, or you corrupt yourself by forgetting your integrity, by forgetting your mission, your calling. You forget all about it and you become a businessman. It's natural. It's only natural. Let's not judge people. It would happen to you. It would happen to all of us. That's when we try to understand things mindfully. We don't judge. We just try to understand. We just try to describe and prevent that from happening again to many, many other people who can be just great. Just great leaders. Just bring peace. Just bring love. Just show beauty. So these leaders, instead of showing beauty, they think their mission is to lead people into whatever, and they think whatever they say is right, smarter than anything anybody else says. Instead of loving themselves, they become obsessed with themselves. And in the process, they lost their true self. And in them, there are all the flaws that every other human being possesses. Anger, resentment, greed, jealousy, hate. And that's when you show light to people. You show beauty to people. But somehow in the midst of all that, you can become dark, and then you lead people into darkness. That is an age-old thing that has happened. Every good thing that happened to us in history as a human being. Every spirituality turned into business, turned into a religion. That's why they had to name it. Because business needs a name. When it's business, you're worried. Oh my God. Where are they going? Why are they leaving me? Why are they following somebody else? Instead of realizing, okay, they're done listening to me because they pretty much heard all I had to say. Now they have to learn something new. And give them a blessing. Great. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come with you and learn a little more to become a better leader. But no. We're not perfect. We're not that perfect. We're so susceptible to all those flaws, no matter how great we are. And we stop loving ourselves. And we start becoming obsessed with ourselves. And all the spiritualities, all the great movements will be led to darkness. Everything. Just watch. Just look at history. Look at your recent history. What happened to? So I still consider myself a feminist because there are so many great ideas in feminism. But look what happened to feminism. Do I repeat whatever they say? No, I don't. Do I believe a lot of what they say? Yes, I do. And I preach that, and I talk about it. And I support the movement despite its flaws. But I do remind people, let's not be obsessed with it. There are things that we've got wrong, and we have to mend it. Even the things that were happening, great movements that are happening, they're fixing our society. Some people are going to climb up that ladder and start leading, and at some point they are. Because why I'm saying why do I expect that it's happened? Because it's happened all throughout history. Nothing's different now. We're not all of a sudden all more self-aware. We are a little tiny bit. But we're not there yet. And I expect that as long as I live, every other movement that is named, that is labeled, it's going to come. It's going to be driven into darkness one way or another. That doesn't mean we shouldn't follow them, we shouldn't support them, we shouldn't, guide people with that beautiful idea, with that great idea that our society needs to become better. It means that be wary, don't follow blindly. Be wary of the people you respect. Be wary of the people you love. Be wary of the people that are so good, that give you love, that make your day better, that make you feel better. Talking to them is like doing a meditation. Watching them is like doing a meditation. It feels just as good as to listen to them than if you pray to whatever deity you worship. And if you're an atheist, it's even easier for you because you don't get scared by loving people too much. And you actually are able to dissolve yourself into that spirituality more than, like someone like me who was born and raised into a spiritual system, which I still to this day believe, and I do not believe in it. I believe and I do not. I believe in that spirituality. Why? Because it brings good. I don't believe in it whenever it says something wrong. I try to be the judge. The golden compass is within us. That's why we should throw out whatever do's and don'ts when they are being forced upon us. That's why we should live free. That's why freedom brings greatness. Because when you break free of all these do's and don'ts, which many of which are very, very good. Very good in the sense that they make sense. They work. We should teach that to our children. But as soon as we become the enforcer, we are crushing that inner compass that never goes wrong, never makes a mistake. That's within us. When we put value too much value to that rule, whether it's morality, whether it's a doctor's advice, whether it's so we forgot to, we take the rule and forget about the exceptions. Yes, we should do that, except And then people would instead of making it simpler, just trust yourself. Just listen to yourself. You'll always make the best decision. What you do instead? What do you do instead of that? You write another book with all the exceptions. And what are the exceptions to those exceptions? You write another book. You make it so complicated that only an expert. You should hire an expert who has read all the rules and all the exceptions and all those different, special cases. And even those are not enough. Because for that person, that golden compass, that inner compass is lost. Because they're starting being obsessed with that rule book. That what has happened to all of us in different senses, in different cases. And as I speak, I know I still do things wrong because I was born and raised into a system of all these do's and don'ts. I'm just a tiny bit more self-aware that all of a sudden I realize every once in a while that, oh my God, I'm eating because it's 7 o'clock. And I think I have dinner, but I'm not hungry. Even nobody's told you what you have to eat. You have to eat your dinner if you're not hungry. But you say that to yourself. So many of these do's and don'ts are self-imposed. Are empty self-promises, are meaningless self-promises. I should do this, I should do that. But try that. Eat whatever you want, whenever you want. When you're so self-aware that you don't eat sugar, and you'll lose weight. I think I talked too much today. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.